Hi, so this is a quick tutorial on how to read a knitting pattern, which I had a lot of trouble with at first, so I'd like to try and explain it. First of all, this is a Lion brand pattern, and the nice thing about it is it explains a lot of the abbreviations and references, and that is what is confusing to me about reading knitting patterns. So this happens to be the pattern that I'm working on, which is a cable knit sweater, and it's Lion brand pattern 90047AD. So the first thing you need to look at is the chart of abbreviations, and so they wrote BEG as begin or beginning, DEC is decrease, K is knit, P is purl, RND is round, RNDS is rounds, SL is slip, WS is wrong side, RS is right side, CN cable needle, increase, INC, K2 together is knit two together, REP is repeat, and then ST is stitch or stitches. Now, it took me a long time to figure out because the pattern that I was trying to read when I was a beginner didn't have this handy little chart. So if you look, the back of the sweater will say something like, with size 7 needles cast on 98, and then in parentheses a whole bunch of other numbers, 106, 114, 122, 130 stitches. So what that is for different sizes of sweaters. And it'll say at the beginning of the pattern which order the sizes are in, and so those numbers are each for different sizes. So it'd be small, medium, large, extra large, etc. And so I go through the highlighter and circle the one I'm working on, which I'm working on extra large size. So it's the third one in parentheses. Like the 98 would be small, the 106 would be medium, the 114 would be large, the 122 XL, and the 130 double XL. And so my directions, I just use the extra large setting or size. And so my directions would be with size 7 needles, cast on 122 stitches. The next sentence says, work in K2, P2 rib for 3 inches. So that means you knit 2 purl through across your row to make ribbing. And then for 3 inches, it means you knit as many rows as when you measure it bottom to top, it's 3 inches long. So that's how tall your ribbing is. Then it says increase 22 stitches evenly spaced across the last row. So you have to figure out it's about every 5 stitches or so that you increase a stitch, and that's a different tutorial as how to increase or whatever. But you increase every 5 stitches or so, and with a wrong side row. So that means you need to be ready to go on the right side for your pattern. And then just to double check, you should have 144 stitches for my size of sweater at the end of the row. And so that's a good way to check and make sure you've done it right, is when you're done, you count your stitches on your needle, and if you have the right number, then you're good to go. Then the next row is the pattern setup, and so it has it says do it on the right side, which is RS, and then it says K1 for selvage stitch. Selvage is the little stitches along the edge that you're going to use to sew the thing together, and so it's kind of a little extra stitch, and so it's just a 1 knit. Then you knit 1 purl 1, and then it says so many times, and that's again the same thing for what size you need. So if you're making a size small, you would do it 2 times. If you're making a size medium, you do it 4 times. If you're making a size large, 6 times, extra large 8 times, double X 10 times. Then you knit 1 purl 2, then you knit 6 purl 2, knit 1 purl 3, and then they have a parenthesis, and so it says parenthesis knit 2 purl 2, and then it says twice. And so that means you do everything in the parentheses twice. So it's a little way of them to abbreviate how they write it. So I have to do that twice. The next thing says knit 2, purl 3, knit 1, purl 2. So it's just a lot of counting. You have to kind of keep track of where you are. Then later on there's another parenthesis that says knit 4, or sorry, purl 4, knit 4 3 times. And you do that thing in parentheses. You do from the start of the parentheses to the end of the parentheses 3 times. And you do that all the way down, and your stitches, if you have the right number on your needle, should come out correctly by the end of the row.